Hello, my name is Dwayne Blais and welcome to the National Skill Development Association. Today we're going to break down how to perform 1-foot stops. So whether it's on your inside edge or your outside edge, we had a great question from ebeckable on YouTube who asked, can you make a step-by-step video on how to stop 1-footed on the outside edge? Learning a 1-foot stop using our inside or our outside edge is a great skill for young players or beginners to learn. The better you get on your edges or using those feet to stop, especially with 1 foot, now you can add that skill to more complex skills. And that's the way the players are going to get better. So in this video, we're going to show how to teach this simple skill and how to use it with other skills as we get going through. With how hockey's evolving and the skill level and how players are getting better, we're seeing a lot more players using inside-outside edges to make quick maneuvers, whether it's a quick turn, a quick tight turn, a cutback, a lot of different ways. So when you're dealing with young players, getting them to be good on their inside and outside edge is obviously huge. So we have simple things like using our inside edge here, right? Or our outside edge coming around on our outside edge. Okay, those are all great ideas and great concepts that kids need to understand. But as we get more advanced, we want to try to get them to stop on 1 foot and slow down so we can add speed changes or cutbacks or different things to their game. So little things like coming in like this and turning their foot on that inside edge, or coming in here and turning their foot more on that outside edge. And today we'll talk a little bit about that and break that down and kind of take a look on how to teach this to young players. So really simple. If you had young players on the goal line or on a blue line coming up to an area, a cone or an area that you'd like them to stop, we want them to do the same thing we do with the two-legged stop. So if you remember a 2-foot stop, we'd come in, turn our head, shoulders, and our feet. Well, same thing with a 1-leg stop. We're going to rotate a little bit more at our hips. So if I'm coming in with a 1-foot stop, I want to come in, I want to turn my head, shoulders, especially as we're teaching this, and then with 1 foot, get on that 1 foot. Really important for players to stay in the middle of their blade. We don't want them on their heel, and we don't want them on the toe, but we want them in the middle. So we always talk about being on the ball of our foot. We want players to be on the ball of their foot. So again, a lot of young players will come in like this, they'll turn their head, shoulders, and then they're going to catch their inside edge, and they'll end up turning around. We want to slide. So they're going to be more on their inside edge, but they'll be touching their outside edge a little bit as well as they're sliding through. So again, coming in, if I'm using that 1-foot stop on my inside edge, I'm coming in, I'm turning my head, shoulders, and then sliding that foot. So from the side, it'll look like this, coming in, turn my head, shoulders, and then gliding on that, or sliding on that 1 foot, all right? We don't want them to glide, so we don't want them to dig that edge in. We want them to be a little bit in neutral, leaning on their inside edge. And the same thing would apply on our outside edge. So if I came in with my left foot and I come in, same idea, I'd turn my head, my shoulders, and I'd glide on that 1 foot more on my outside edge. So again, coming in on the ball of my foot, right? More of my weight's on the ball of my foot, leaning on that outside edge, starting in a neutral. So again, being in that neutral position over both of our blades, and then turning that foot and riding on that outside edge as we come to a stop. So again, on that outside edge coming up, I'd be coming in, I'd turn my head, my shoulders, and then 1 foot coming through like that. And if you remember back in the day, the old hockey cards, we used to have those old hockey cards from players where they come in and the still shot would be that player coming in like this, kind of old school pictures like that, same idea, right? So we just want that 1 foot. Now, what does this translate into? I'll show that one more time from the side. So if I'm coming in towards, away from the camera here, I turn my head, shoulders, and then that 1 foot stop with that outside edge. So when do we use these 1 foot stops in a game? Number one, it's great for players to learn better balance, better control of their feet and their body as they're skating. So for young players, we can do simple little drills where we set up cones. So everyone knows kind of our zigzag pattern like this. And you could set these up obviously a lot bigger, all the way down the ice or down one side of the ice where players come in, they have to turn one skate, come into the next cone, turn one skate, come into the next cone, turn one skate. And to get comfortable on that neutral position sliding, having players just doing this and just sliding their feet. Nice and simple, but back and forth, just to get them comfortable on that inside edge. And then same thing with that outside edge. So as we're coming in, being in that neutral, and then 1-legged stop on that outside edge. 1-legged stop on that outside edge. 1-legged stop on that outside edge. Now it looks really simple, but you're gonna see a lot of players are gonna catch outside edge. They're gonna come into that cone like this, and they're gonna go to the here and then kind of catch their outside edge and feel like they're gonna fall back. So we really wanna stress being on the ball of their foot and then knees nice and bent. So again, that hockey player position we always talk about, so shoulders over knees, knees over toes, and then coming in nice and smooth. We'll break it down real simple. Once players understand it and have a good feel for that inside and outside edge and being able to slow up, right? When would we use this stuff? If a player's maybe attacking the net. So we can see the net over here, we're attacking the net. We have a defender here. We can come in, slow up, and then push around. So if I'm coming towards the camera now as a defenseman, and I'm coming in here and I want to fake, I can turn this foot here and slide it, and then I can take off to the left or right. So a little more speed. If I was coming in here, come in, little push, and then right away coming around on the inside or outside. For that, and I mean, you can use this all over the ice, right? In the corner, a defenseman walking the blue line. So if I'm a defenseman, and let's say this red line right here is our blue line, and I'm shooting down this way, and I'm walking across, I can come in this way, check up a little bit, come back around, check up. And all I'm doing is 1 foot stopping with my inside edge, right? So again, I'm in that neutral position with my skate, but I'm really digging my inside edge in as I'm coming into that stop. So if I'm coming towards you on this foot here, I'm walking the blue line, my head's up, I'm coming in, kind of checking as we come through. All right, tons of other areas that we can use, but just little areas that allow us to speed check by using that 1 foot stop with our foot that's out in front. As far as our 1 foot stop on our outside edge, that comes back into play with things like our jam turns, little checkups, little cutbacks and stuff. So again, if I'm coming up towards you and I want to turn away, so I'm coming in here, I'm going to punch out with my left foot. I'm punching in that neutral to my outside edge, cut around, and then come back out. So again, if I'm coming in, I come in here, push, and then right back out. So I come in here, push, and then right back out. And if we look at that slower, as I come in here, I'm sending my head, shoulders, feet this way. That foot's in that stop on that outside edge. My other foot's gliding around, and then now I'm taking off the other way, just like we talked about in our jam turn. So if I'm attacking the net and I want to delay, so here's my net here. I've got a defender on this side. I come in, turn, come around, and then make my play up ice as we're moving around. Down low in the corners, right? Any kind of spin move that we're gonna make. So if I'm coming in here to spin, I can push my leg out, come around, and then spin around. I'm coming in here, same thing, push, spin, and then come around. So I'm using that foot to push down on that outside edge, and then we can roll around. There's a lot of different areas that we can use this one-legged stop on our inside or outside edge. But a lot of times what happens is those little skills that we teach younger players as they're moving through are gonna get blended into other skills. So as I'm teaching this one-legged stop, I want players to understand that this is why you're gonna use it, and this is when you're gonna use it. And then that's gonna make it a lot easier for them to understand, grasp the concepts, and then buy into what we're teaching them. Anytime we as coaches can get players better on their skates, it's a huge advantage for them. So working on skills like a 1 foot stop using our inside and our outside edge is a great fundamental skill for young players or beginners to learn. And once they get that mastered, they can apply that to different skills and more complex drills as they get going through.